seem to be an expert in this.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you're familiar with the rules.
Yep.
But I will tell you anyway.
Hey everybody, Dr. Giggles here from the Hauntapolooza PODCAST. In this video, I'm going to be talking about Fright Haven's Rottentails Revenge. It's a haunt review. It took place last Friday, the Friday before Easter. And obviously it's Easter themed haunt. In this video, we're going to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, the awesome, and we're also going to show you some clips that they allowed us to film it. So we're going to show you like a little bit of clips, not the whole haunt, but we're going to break down everything. So hopefully you guys enjoy this review. And before we just get into this, if you're new here, make sure you click that subscribe button. Make sure you click like if you enjoyed it, and leave us a comment down below. Have you been to Fright Haven? Have you done Rottentails Revenge? What did you think of the haunt? Have you been to their other holiday haunts or their normal Halloween haunts? Let us know down in the comments down below. All right, so a whole bunch of us, we met up. Jimmy, Danielle, Alyssa, Jeremy, myself, Jessica. We met up. We went through the haunt. We actually met one of the managers, owners, Bobby. Really cool guy. I also know one of the actors. I've known him from the, like the Coaster Group and all that stuff. So it was just neat to check it out because we had never been, and we were like, oh, an Easter theme haunt. That's got to be interesting. Let's go check this out. So and remember, I'm not going to be saying here's this, here's that, but as I'm talking, you will see either pictures or video flying by as I'm talking. But yeah, you can see the front of the building. It's in a weird, unique location because at first I didn't realize that it was back there. Jessica spotted it, but it's in like what I would call a shopping plaza, but way in the back. So from what I've seen, there's 20,000 square feet of this like building, factory building, whatever kind of building it was at one point. And they had a coffin outside. They had some really, really awesome actors outside, like the ones that like scrape across the ground and you see sparks. And they were messing with my kid, and it was awesome. One of them was handing out little Easter eggs, and I wish I brought it downstairs, and they had messages, and it was pretty cool. So they set the tone off right. So we went inside, we got tickets, and then, you're walking through the queue, and then there's, in the queue line, like before you get in the queue line, there is, what do you call it? Like places that you could take selfies with and all that. So that was really neat to see that inside. I get, it helps kill the time if you got to wait in the line. And then they had some props and stuff in the queue. Like once you turn around a corner and you're getting close to getting in, they have a nice little facade to get into. They'll open the door. There's all like different props and scenery and stuff. And I found it really cool. Now, one thing I wanted to touch on that I thought was fascinating was they had someone dressed up like an Easter bunny going through, giving out candy. And I forgot what the woman's name is, but she's like 70-something years old. And I don't know if that's supposed to be, but I'd seen her walking through the haunt. And I thought it was just neat. It was just like we hit a corner, and then here she comes around a corner and goes somewhere else. I don't know if that was part of the haunt or not, but it was cool. And I thought it was awesome. Now, as we approached and we got to the area where you would get in, there is a bunny that you will see. You see the facade in the front, and then they have to open that door. But the bunny was pretty cool. He broke down the rules. He even cracked some jokes. Said everything. There was a lot of cool things to look around. But the thing that I really loved about this is really set off the tone. The thing that I really, really loved about this was I don't know how many of you watched even as a kid or even remember, but anything to do with the bunny. Like, I'm not talking about like goofy movie like Hop. I'm talking like the old school cartoons, the way that like the Father Rabbit would talk and have that way of pronunciation, accent, talking, and just acting. Cool. The bunny had the voice box. It totally fit everything, and it was awesome. It set the tone. And then when it was our time, open the door, said hop in, get hopping, and we go in. Now the great things that I see is the theming. The theming reminded me a lot of like Fright Kingdom out in New Hampshire. Very well done. It was all decked out and themed out to Easter, so you could see the Easter eggs and all the different Easter stuff, that had to do with Easter. So it wasn't just a haunt, and then we're going to put an Easter bunny here and there or whatever. They did have some actors that were like crazy, really into it. Like, for example, I don't know if it was the same guy or a different guy, but he would like get right in your face, like so close that it was like you really could like reach out. I mean, it wasn't touching, but you could kiss him if you really wanted to. There was an area, like, I don't know how many familiar with what we call the vortex, which is that, you know, you walk through that metal, like, walkway, and then the tunnel spins around you, whether it's got lights or looks like out of space, so, you know, it's supposed to look like a vortex. Well, they had the metal, like, platform, plank, whatever, but they didn't have the vortex, but there was, like, 2 chicks on there, and they were, like, crazy, stopping you, getting in your way, wouldn't let you by, and they played it off really well. There was so many different areas in there that were done really well. I didn't really have like a least favorite or absolute amazing scenes. There was a lot. And there was a lot of great actors in there. There were a couple that either they were nervous, shy, they just sat there like a sack of potatoes and didn't move, didn't say anything, and it was kind of like, oh. You know, the problem I have is we go to so many haunts and we see more haunts than none where, like, almost all the actors are kind of like, and don't move. This place, they moved, and they had a bunch of really good actors. Now, what I take into effect is, this is Easter. This isn't Halloween, and you're not going to get a lot of people for some stupid reason that don't want to act any other time except Halloween. More are getting on board with Christmas, but still. The way I look at it is, if you love working in a haunt, whether you're an actor, behind the scenes, whatever. If you love Halloween, then what's wrong with doing Christmas, Easter, Valentine's, St. Patrick's Day? Hell, this haunt has a Crystal Lake theme, you know, Jason, Friday the 13th theme coming up in July, which I definitely think you should all check out. At the end of the day, I love this haunt. I thought it was great. Minus like the couple, you know, there might have been 3 actors in there that were kind of like, just did that. Now, one thing that, and this has nothing to do with them, it's just me and my my criticisms. They have what I call the 3, you know, everybody knows the 3D clown haunt. You put on the glasses and it's beautiful artwork. The thing that I loved is they had like this little girl. She was creepy, stalking, following you around, you know, played it really well. It might have been her mom or another lady there, and she was like crazy, and that was cool, you know, as you're going through. Really helped set the tone. But for me, the critique part is I'm starting to get sick of 3D clown haunts. I don't know why, because I used to be a huge proponent of making sure that I had 3D haunts. Like, I like kicked and screamed and cried and yelled and begged at Six Flags New England to get a 3D clown haunt. Love it, but now I'm getting sick of them, which is kind of weird. Like, I love clowns. I love creepy clowns. I love the whole clown thing. But I think the problem is that so many people are doing the 3D clown haunt thing that I'm getting myself. I'm not saying everybody. I'm just saying myself. I am getting 3D clown haunt fatigue. Like, I just wish haunts would start ripping out. It's kind of like the swamp thing. Last year was the swamp effect when everybody had the green light and the low-lying fog going through whatever, whether it was a hayride, it was a haunt, whatever it was, everybody's doing it. Almost every haunt that I went to last year had that effect at some point or another. It's a cool effect. It's great. It's awesome. But when you go haunt after haunt after haunt, and I know it's tough to... there's so many different moving parts in a haunt that I'd like to see a lot more stuff that people haven't done. I'm all about originality. I'm not one about reusing something from a movie or something like, you know what I mean? Like, and I will say that Fright Haven is doing original characters. I didn't see anything from movies. Nobody was acting like a Jason or a Freddy or anything. It's good. I like that. The theming, incredible. The actors, minus a few, were great. The only thing that I did not... This is the only negative I have for it. And it's not really that big of a negative. But the negative for me was I live 2 hours away from this haunt. And I get it. It's Easter. There's not a lot of actors. There's nothing else going around. And the haunt run time when I watched the video was about 13 and change minutes. And to drive 2 hours and there's no other haunts around to check out to really make that trip worth it, to me, it kind of sucked. I mean, the haunt didn't suck. I'm just saying, for me, in driving down, going to a haunt, I mean, they did an amazing job. Now, if this haunt was near me and I didn't drive far, I'd be like, whoa, this is probably one of the best haunts in the state. And I live in Rhode Island. But it didn't. And, so, again, like, I'm still going to keep going. And then I'll probably still complain about the 2-hour one-way drive. But that's because I feel the haunt is worth going to. When I talked with Jimmy and Danielle and Jessica and the kids, and we were like, hey, this haunt would be cool if it was close by or not so far away. It would be like really awesome. Like the haunt's good. We're all on the same wavelength, and we're all in agreement. Like nobody's like, oh well, maybe not. Like everybody's like, look, they did a great job. There was some actors that weren't doing nothing. The theming was great. Just wish that it was longer. And I mean, you're not gonna get. They only have so much room to work with. So I would say I'm gonna give this haunt a 4 out of 5, and by all means, it's just because of the drive. Like people that live by there, by all means, you guys should all go, because if you don't go, you're missing out. For my own, I've given it a 4 out of 5, just because of the drive time and length of haunt. For me, kind of like took it away from being a 5 out of 5. Now, I'm not saying by any means that this haunt is horrible, because it's not. I mean, and again with the actors, it's a lose-lose. Not a lose-lose, but when you're trying to get actors to work, especially in these off-season, what we call in the industry, I feel that, you take the actors that are willing to do it, and you hope that they can act and react with the, everybody going through. Some do, some don't. You win some, you lose some. But I would say probably 99% of the actors were on point, especially the chainsaw guy. He did his thing, had people screaming, going crazy. There was a lot to take in, a lot to see. It was really, really, I enjoyed it. I'm not lying, nothing. Like, I enjoyed it. Like, the way that they did the theming and adding Easter to it, it was great. It wasn't like they just threw up Easter eggs everywhere to make it look like they really tied it all in. There was different areas, different aspects of the haunt that like made Jessica scream, and that's just how I can gauge a haunt if it's really worth going to. Even again, if she screams, that's good. I don't scream, but she screamed. I could tell she was having fun. She said she had fun. What I need to do is I need to like record these reviews with everybody around more sooner than later. I just wanted to get this review out now instead of waiting like another week or two to do it. It'll kind of lose its thing. But when they do Rottentails Revenge next year, make sure you go, because I'm telling you, it is totally worth it. If you go on there, I'm going to put all the link to the description, in the description down below, so that you can, you could go to their website, you could check out everything you need to do, all the upcoming events, find out ticket prices, find out everything that you need to know about this haunt, because they don't just do Halloween. Like I said, they do Christmas, they do St. Patrick's Day, Valentine's, Easter, the summertime. They're basically like doing any holiday that they can. And I hope more and more haunts can do this. Like, yes, at first, you're not going to make as much. You got to get the word out. You got to get the promotion out. You got to do the damn thing. You can't just sit there and just pray and hope by putting a Facebook post out that somebody's just going to go. You got to put in that work. And then that's why, like, everybody knows when I do these reviews, I pimp everything out. I want people to go to haunts. I want to see this industry thrive and grow. So with anybody watching this, you need to go to these haunts. Now, if it's a really bad haunt, I'm going to tell you. I don't care if they gave me a free ticket or not, or if I paid or whatever. I will tell you if the haunt sucks. I am not afraid to give a bad review, even if it was a free ticket. And And especially if I paid for the ticket and it was a bad haunt, you'll really hear about it. Because we did a haunt a couple of years ago that was really bad, and we paid, and it was awful. But no, this doesn't fall into that. So I'm going to get out of here. Like I said, I give it out 4 out of 5 just because of the drive length and the short time of the haunt. I think when it comes to when they do like Halloween, that's like their boom time. I think the haunt ends up being out longer, more actors, more people to mess with you, and stuff like that. So take that into consideration when you're doing like these off-season events. You're probably not going to get a ton of actors, but the actors that do there for the most part are going to scare you, and you're going to get a good time out of it. That's what I personally think out of it. Hopefully you enjoyed the review. If you did, give us a subscribe, give us a like, leave us a comment down below, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out, y'all.